Can you talk a little bit about the biggest challenges of adapting video game to screen and like what stays this, how do you decide what stays the same, what's different, especially coming from season one to season two?
I'll go back before we even work on a single creative choice is again, now I've had enough experience of meeting a bunch of people that are interested in adapting it, but seeing the various reasons why they would be wrong to adapt it. Sometimes they're fans of the game, but they just don't get what it's about. Or sometimes, they're not the right talent or just tonally they're not at the right place. I would say one of the most important things that this experience has taught me is find someone who loves it as much as you do. And that's Craig Mason. It all starts from there. And because if you start with that at the top, then every other person we hire, we kind of gauge of like, what's their reaction to the material? Like, if it's an actor, how much should they react to this character? How much should they get it? How much would they be willing to throw themselves at it? So all those early decisions, starting from that, allowed us to surround us with incredibly talented people that want to do the best version of the story. And many of them are fans of the game. Many of them came to this show because they loved what the game made them feel. So it's in some ways, to me, that was the biggest challenge, is finding those partners. And then there's a million other challenges that come afterward, but I'll pause there and let you take over.
They're all good writing challenges. We have the benefit of this source material, but and Neil is amazing about this because a lot of times the creators of source material are a problem. I'll just be honest, as screenwriters, when you're adapting things, sometimes you run into a novelist who just can't handle the fact that moving from one medium to another, it's not even requires changes. It gives you the opportunity to expand. And sometimes because you are doing episodes with beginnings and ends, things need to adjust. Also, honestly, you have the benefit of the source material, so you can say, hey, here's a way of doing something in the source material that might actually be more compelling, given the fact that we have these opportunities. Neil is incredible about focusing on making the best show. So there's not any ego there about, well, but the game did it this way. I think we're both really good about saying, hey, this part of the game, let's port because it is portable. It just works. And then other parts, I mean, as I've learned from Neil, how certain story elements are specific in the game to make them playable. But when you are over on a show and you're not playable, and especially you're not locked into one perspective, then you have opportunities to do things in a different way. Um, we, I think what we did really well in season one was follow our hearts as creator and fan. And for people who were fans of the game, and listen, video game fans, like any fandom, they're intense and they are passionate, and I always think of, like that character from Wayne's World, like, I don't like change. Yeah, I don't like change either. Like I see things adapted. I'm like, do the thing, do the thing. But they welcomed the changes because I think they saw in large part how much they were in the spirit of what the game was. And sometimes people will say this scene was just like, they just pulled this from the game and did it one to one and it's awesome. And I'm like, that scene's not in the game, but it felt like it was in the game. And that's awesome.
It's like one of those sleeper memories that are fake, that you
Yes,
created.
Inception.
Yeah, you incepted it.